Alright, I thought I was done. I really want to go over the Jesta Cannon. We've gone over so many supports, there's so many options, but I want to go over the Jesta Cannon. Because it has frontline support. It's the only suit that we have gone over that has frontline support system, which speeds up the respawn time for your entire team. It has force injectors, which is really cool. It has explosive reactive armor. It has a very special skill called precision sniping that we'll go over in a second. And it has stabilization device. So just like the Palace-Athene, it does have a way to be stagger resistant if it needs to, but it's also highly mobile, has a lot of weapons just like the Palace-Athene, but it's able to do peak shooting a lot better, and it has access to a similar suite of skills. But it's really all about this It's really all about this precision sniping system, which we're going to go over as we go through the suit, and then we're done. Also, explosive reactive armor, which means that splash damage isn't as effective on it, and well, that is somewhat rough to talk about because in higher cost explosive damage is a little hard to come by, but there are suits that do have such options. Alright, the beam rifle we're using is one of the weakest ones that we've talked about in terms of stagger value. It doesn't instant stagger unless you fully charge it. So the Hakushiki beam rifle the Bethesda Kai has over it is, it has an instant stagger. If you charge it, which is only 2.5 seconds, it does instant stagger. And it'll chain into itself, obviously, if you want to do damage. The normal firing is 35%, and the charged firing is 65%. This means that a charged shot and a normal shot will do 100, which means it'll stop any general that has only maneuver armor and no damage control, which is good. That's an option we have. And an extra shot on top of that, a second shot, will do 135, which will stop the suits that have damage control 1. As far as that goes, there's really not much else to say. The primary is really good. Does a lot of damage, reloads fast, and it comes with a grenade launcher. This grenade launcher only does 20% stagger, but it is an instant stagger. So you're able to chain it along with your beam rifle to chain staggers together. And while I wouldn't recommend it, it is an option to go into melee with this suit. So this suit does have some way of getting a knockdown, which is invaluable. So not all suits have ways of getting knockdowns. Like the Methodist Kai can't get a knockdown very often. This suit kind of can. Anything with damage control, though, will require a charge shot or multiple firing shots. So make sure you're always peeking with this suit. Like that. There you go. What was I talking about? The Vulcan pod system on this suit is actually kind of good. It's not as good as the Regazid, but it is 55%. And because the suit has force injectors, it is somewhat able to use it to some. It is able to use it to some effect when trying to get away from somebody or trying to chase somebody. The shoulder beam cannon does not stagger. What it does instead is what it instead offers is a lot of damage for little commitment. And when you do charge it all the way, it goes from 600 meters range to 650 meters range, and it becomes a full stagger. I would use this just as a way to poke, do follow-up damage on an ally's combo from far away. I would not sit in place and use this as a stagger by charging it, but know that you can. We have two what are they called? We have two dumps on this weapon, two damage ups on this weapon that you can do to follow up on your own combo, or more likely an ally's combo. The waist grenade launcher is the exact same as the Regazid. It does a lot of damage on allies that are down, on enemies that are down. It does about 5,800 damage on a down. The shoulder missile launcher doesn't do as much, but there's more of them.
In battle, you'll find that coordinating with your allies is
And it can actually stagger.
one individual
The leg grenades shoot from the bottom, which means they can miss if you're aiming downwards from a cliff, or if you're aiming upward. So it's mostly only good on things that are level with you. The missile launcher shoots from the chest, so you can't use it to shoot things from longer ranges. The last thing we can talk about is the flash bomb. This is not some suits have flash bombs from boosting. This suit does not, but it is an option you can use to chain staggers together. Grenade launcher, flash bomb to get that knockdown. Self-defense tool does no stagger, has no stagger reduction, but it will work on anything that's not in a stagger-resistant stage. So you can use it like around corners, for example, like that. All right, let's talk about let's go over everything so far. We have a really good DPS beam rifle that we can use to poke. Very similar to the GBO2. We have a beam cannon that does shoot from the right side, so it can reach from out here. And it is somewhat rapid fire. If you land 3 of these shots, you will stagger a general that doesn't have any DC. So you can do that. You have the Vulcan gun, which is 5%, so it's not that bad for self-defense. The waste grenade launcher for doing a lot of damage on combos. Same with this missile launcher. You have the flash bomb for self-defense. Alright, and when you crouch, you have shocks. You have explosive reactive armor and you have shocks, but no damage control, which means that things will be able to stagger you, even if you're crouching, if they do something like 50-50. So, given the amount of 50-50s I've talked to you about today, you might imagine that the Jesta Cannon, while it has this, it only has a couple seconds to stagger back to make sure that the opponent doesn't get a chance to retaliate. All right, let's talk about the real power here. High precision snipe. While you're in snipe mode, your attack goes up by 35 points. Your ranged, and your damage to parts goes up by 20%. When you attack a target while in the precision snipe mode, one second. Are they broken? When you attack a target while in precision snipe mode with certain weapons, you will gain. It'll go from a stagger to a heavy stagger. The only weapon that I think is compatible with this is the shoulder cannon. As you can see, this guy's legs, I'm pretty sure, are broken. And if I go into snipe mode, you'll see that this does not change. So, when you are in precision sniping, and you know a suit's legs or head are damaged, you can do stuff like this. This beam cannon was not an instant stagger until I zoomed in. The moment I zoomed in and aimed at a soft part, the suit started staggering. This means that the Jesta Cannon has a very weird, skill-intensive niche that no one ever really talks about, where in snipe mode, if you have really good aim, and the enemy suit's legs are busted, or their head is busted, you can chain staggers together. Stagger. 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 And while you're in the sniping mode, you do more damage to those things. Now you might remember that the Jesta Cannon's fully charged shot on his beam cannon was a regular stagger. What does that mean if we hit him while we're sniping? It is now a heavy stagger. And if I can't really show you because I can't show you the perspective of the Kaplan, but if the attack breaks their legs at the same time, as you are zoomed in, it will count. So if the plant's legs weren't broken already, and I broke them with this shot, it would stagger. It's not the shot after it gets broken that gives you the stagger. It's also the shot that causes the break in the first place. So if you landed a charge shot like this and did the extra damage to their legs and managed to break it in the same shot, you would be landing a heavy stagger, and you can do it again. This is a really special suit that I don't expect anyone to really master, but I wanted to talk about it because I wanted to. Because I wanted to. Why not? Merry Christmas. But yeah, precision sniping is a really cool skill not a lot of suits have and no one really talks about, and I wanted to talk about today. Like I said, suit has a lot of DPS, interesting stagger potential with strafing. Precision snipe skill on the beam cannon is amazing. It's cool. It has decent Vulcans. It has a few instant staggers that are pretty good. It has balancers so that you can do melee combos and get people off of them after those instant staggers. Really good damage dumps. It's a good suit. Master precision sniping, and you might be able to go a long way. The more likely case with this suit, by the way, is that if a suit loses their legs, it's done. They're done for. But a lot of people will obviously put on leg armor. But more likely than not, you might be able to break someone's face more easily than their legs. If you do that somehow, say something like this occurs. Like I'm peeking at somebody, I made their head, I zoom in, and just start blasting them, knowing that their head's gonna break. You might be able to achieve the precision sniping. You might be able to achieve precision sniping's benefits much faster than you think you can. But I digress. This is a very complicated suit. There's a lot of like head math involved, but it is still a decent choice for the situation, this client battle. And with that, we're all done.